To YOUCANIC here, we're going to troubleshoot a 2012 Toyota Prius hybrid. So we're going to take a look at all the control units. We're going to read the codes. We are going to look at some live data. We're going to look at the hybrid battery and a lot of cell voltages and things of that nature. We're going to do some bidirectional tests or active tests when we can activate things, including ABS pumps and windows and things of that nature. So let's get started. What you want to do is you turn on the ignition and connect the scanner to the OBD2 port under the dashboard. There's the OBD2 port right there. So here we can select VIN and automatic read. You can manually go select Toyota and Prius and all that, but this is a lot faster. The smart VIN again, the market for which this vehicle was made. So in this case was North America. And then it wants to know if it's got radar cruise or not. If it doesn't, press others. And there's detected the year, make, and model. We can do two things. You can do diagnostics, where you can go and enter any of the control modules if you know exactly what you're troubleshooting. So if you're looking at the airbag, you can go straight to diagnostics and then select whichever control user. Or you can do quick scan, which I just did. Press on that, and what that does, it goes through all the control units on the car, and it's going to read codes from each one of them. It's going to tell us what codes are active. Okay, so in this case, the scan is complete, and the car actually looks very good. It has no fault codes in any of the control units. It has 20 control units. Things controlling doors, main body, SRS, air conditioning, transmission, ABS, cruise control, hybrid system, and engine. So let's first enter the engine control unit. And here we can see, we can read codes. There are going to be no codes in this case, but you can look at live data. You can select all data and then select all. Okay. And what's this going to do is going to show us all the data that's being monitored by the engine control unit. This is a very long list, so it could take a little while to go through all of this. You can see fuel pressure, fuel pump condition, oxygen sensor data, and a lot of data. So far we're only going through about half of all this data. Different data points monitored by the engine control unit. But let's keep scrolling, going through them. Now let's get to the bottom. Just going through that really quick. And then these values do change if you start the engine, and if the engine is running, those of course are going to change live. Go back, you can do some active tests. Yeah. Now these are just for the engine control unit, so whatever engine controls, you can run some tests here where you can activate different things. Okay, so you can select it, and then you have to meet those conditions. You do have to select at least one of those values to monitor, and then you come in here and you can change the values right here, and that's how you do the bidirectional test or active test. Let's go back. We're going to go to the hybrid. This is something that's going to be of interest for a lot of people. In this case, the hybrid does not show any error codes, or it did not show through the quick scan, and we're going to read the codes again in there in the hybrid control unit. Sometimes this might be called battery management system. You can see there's no codes. If they are active codes, you can clear them, but if they're passive or stored, you can clear them. There's live data. We're going to select all data. Select all, press OK. Now this is also going to be a very long list. I selected everything, but this monitors basically all the data that's being monitored that's needed for the hybrid battery. It's going to be in here: temperature, status of charge, voltages, voltage of each individual battery packs, which are at the bottom. We're going to get to those in a second. So we're about halfway through. But as you can see, DC converter data. And so you can see, and now you got units on the right there. And these values do change if you are monitoring them while you drive, or somebody maybe drive the vehicle, and then you look at these data if there's something you're trying to troubleshoot. But you can see in here, down towards the bottom, you got the voltages of the different battery packs, battery blocks. It tells you the block number and then whatever voltage you're reading, and the internal resistance. Okay, so let's go back. I look at active tests. Now we're still under the hybrid battery, so we have a few active tests that you can do carry in this module. Let's say we got cruise control, there's ABS and traction control. Let's go in there. And then of course you can read codes, live data, all data. Here we can see things like the ABS wheel speed sensors and things of that nature. So if you got traction control, ABS and warning lights like that, you can see the status of the lights, shifter position, but you also towards the bottom here, you're going to be able to see left rear wheel speed sensor, front right, front left, right rear, and right left wheel speed sensor. So if you are driving the vehicle and monitoring this and you see one of them is not changing, then you know which ABS wheel speed sensor is going to be defective. But in addition, you're probably going to have a full code when you read the codes, and that full code is going to tell you front left or front right wheel speed sensor defective. So, and this is the data in the ABS control module. Let's go back and active test. Under the ABS, you can activate the different lights, but you can also activate the ABS pump here. So if you're doing like a brake bleed, getting the air out of the brake lines, then you can come in here and find the correct test, and then activate the ABS pump. You just be very careful when you're doing these bidirectional tests. You don't want to cause any injuries or have a vehicle roll away or something of that nature. So that's it. You can enter code, enter any of the control units, clear codes from them, view live data into any of the control modules, including the battery management system, and also do active or bidirectional tests. Transmission control unit, really quick, the last one, you can see. And here you can read codes, no codes, and there's live data. So if you're looking for transmission oil temperature or things like data from the different sensors that are in the valve body and the transmission, you'll be able to see them in here, voltages. Let's go back, and there, air conditioner, live data, diagnosis, and you can see it. There's things in here. There's main body. There's a lot of things that are going to be controlled. The main body control unit, and then doors have their own modules and things like that. So if you're looking to troubleshoot or trying to get data from a specific sensor, you might have to try to find might take a little bit to figure out which one is the right control unit. Main body in here, you can see all these headlights and fog lights and horn wipers, and a lot of them are in here, and you can activate them from here. For example, you need to select at least one, and then here you can turn them on and off. So hazard, and turn that off. And you can do the same thing with all these other tests. So every control module is going to have their own tests that you can perform. Some of them might not have tests, like if you went into the airbag control module, you're not going to have any tests that you can perform in there. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching YOUCANIC, where you can be the mechanic.